Imagine a single frame frozen in time. November 5, 2024, 3:17 a.m., Mar-a-Lago Ballroom, red and gold lights strobing across 1,000 flushed faces while Donald Trump raises a victorious fist, and right behind him, grinning like a kid who just hacked the final boss, stands Elon Musk in a black MAGA cap 2 sizes too small, the richest man alive now wearing the colors of a movement that half the planet already hates. And in that exact second, the trajectory of the 21st century bends so violently you can almost hear the metal scream. Because what happens next is not just the story of one company or one presidency, but the story of how the most celebrated visionary of our age flew Tesla higher than any stock in history, touched the edge of space itself with his dreams of robotaxis and humanoid robots. Market cap cresting $1.52 trillion in the first breathless weeks of 2025. Cybercab gleaming under California spotlights, Optimus folding laundry on viral loops, full self-driving supposedly weeks away from turning every Tesla into a money-printing node in an autonomous swarm, analysts drunk on hopium calling it the most valuable asset mankind has ever created. And then, in less than 9 brutal months, watch the entire cathedral come crashing down in flames of tariffs, boycotts, arson, betrayal, and his own unforced errors, until the same stock that traded above $480 split-adjusted closed the year limping at $127. 70% of $3 trillion of wealth obliterated faster than any company in recorded history. Showrooms firebombed from Hamburg to Portland. Cybertrucks torched on suburban driveways. European sales collapsing 76% in a single quarter. Shanghai gigafactory bleeding cash under 100% Trump tariffs Elon himself had cheered for. X turned into a spam-infested wasteland that lost 70% of its advertising revenue and most of its cultural relevance. His own teenage daughter publicly erasing his name from hers. Grimes dragging him through emergency custody hearings. Wall Street Journal and Vanity Fair printing 1,000-word autopsies of his ketamine nights and sleepless manic episodes. And the man who once tweeted, "I am become meme, destroyer of shorts," going radio silent for 72 hours straight while the world asked one question. How did the smartest man alive manage to self-destruct so completely, so publicly, so fast? This is not a slow decline, not a gentle correction. This is Icarus on rocket fuel realizing too late that the wings were leased from Washington, D.C., and the sun had just elected a new pilot. To understand the height of the peak, you have to rewind to the summer of 2024, when everything still felt inevitable. Tesla had just delivered its 5 millionth vehicle. The Model Y was outselling every gasoline car on Earth. Giga Berlin and Giga Texas were running 3 shifts. The 4680 cell ramp looked real for the first time. Energy storage was growing faster than anyone modeled. And the October 10 Robot event was being hyped as the iPhone moment for autonomy. Elon was posting 20 times a day, each tweet detonating like a small grenade of hype. Robotaxi will be 10 times safer than human. Optimus will cost less than a car. FSD unsupervised by year-end, definitely. The stock responded like a teenager on Red Bull, climbing from $200 to $480 faster than Wall Street could write new price targets. Cathie Wood was on every channel predicting $10 trillion of market cap by 2030. Retail investors mortgaged houses. Options traders turned thousands into millions overnight. And the phrase, Tesla is the new Apple, but bigger, stopped sounding crazy and started sounding conservative. In private group, chat's engineers whispered that even they were stunned at how well the end-to-end neural net was finally working. For one crystalline moment, the dream felt within reach. A world of electric, autonomous, solar-powered abundance led by the one man crazy enough to promise it on a timeline no one else would dare. Then came the endorsement. July 13, 2024, the Butler assassination attempt. Elon tweets for the first time in his life that he is all in on Trump. What started as a single tweet metastasizes within weeks into the most expensive political intervention by any individual in American history. He pumps $250 million into pro-Trump super PACs, turns X's algorithm into a Trump amplification machine, hosts a 2-hour Spaces conversation that crashes the servers twice, and by October is jumping on stage at Madison Square Garden like a rock star. The left loses its collective mind. The right crowns him first buddy. Tesla forums fracture overnight. Lifelong owners who waited years for their Model 3 suddenly post photos of their key fob next to a printed cancellation email and the caption, "Not my circus anymore." But the stock barely notices. The market is too busy pricing in a second Trump term as the ultimate regulatory moat. No more Biden-era IRA clawbacks, instant approval for unsupervised FSD, maybe even federal Robotaxi highways. Election night, Elon stands behind Trump as Florida is called, arms aloft, eyes shining with what looks like tears, and posts a single image of himself in the Oval Office chair with the caption, "Sometimes destiny calls." The honeymoon is shorter than anyone imagines. January 20, 2025, Inauguration Day. Elon is given an office in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building and a laminated badge that reads Special Government Employee Doge. The Department of Government Efficiency is not a real department yet, but it has a real slush fund and real firing authority. For the next 9 months, Elon commutes between Austin, D.C., and wherever Trump is golfing, bragging on X that he has already saved taxpayers $2 trillion by deleting entire agencies at 3 a.m. He live tweets cabinet meetings, calls the FAA parasites, threatens to fire any regulator who delays FSD approval. For a while it works. NHTSA fast-tracks certain autonomy exemptions. The Energy Department greenlights megapack contracts the size of small countries. Tesla stock kisses $1.52 trillion market cap the week Trump signs the American Manufacturing First executive order. The same week, Trump signs another order. 60% tariffs on all Chinese goods, 100% on electric vehicles. Elon is at the signing ceremony, clapping louder than anyone, because he still believes the tariffs will crush BYD and force the world to buy American. He does not yet understand that Tesla is now the single most exposed company on Earth to Chinese retaliation and cost inflation. The first cracks appear in February when China quietly informs Tesla it will no longer subsidize Shanghai's power rates. By March, every car built in China now carries a hidden $25,000 tariff bomb the moment it touches American soil. Tesla raises prices twice in 6 weeks, erasing the entire affordability narrative that made the Model 3 and why mass market hits. European regulators, already furious at Elon's political cosplay, open sweeping investigations into Tesla's data privacy and driver monitoring systems, citing systemic risk from CEO political bias. Norway, once the promised land of Tesla with 90% EV penetration, sees registrations collapse 76% year-over-year. German late-night shows run sketches of Elon and Trump as conjoined twins strangling the planet. In California, the state that gave Tesla its first million customers, bumper stickers appear overnight. "I bought it before he went MAGA." The boycott is not theoretical. It shows up in the monthly delivery numbers, then quarterly, then in the earnings call where Luca Maistri's successor has to admit guidance is no longer guidance. The violence starts in April. A Tesla store in Hamburg is firebombed. A week later, 3 Cybertrucks are set alight in a Portland suburb while the owners sleep. By summer, there are 200 documented physical attacks across 4 continents. Insurance underwriters coin the term ideological risk surcharge. Videos of masked protesters smashing superchargers rack up hundreds of millions of views. Elon tweets cowards and posts security cam footage, which only feeds the cycle. The same week, his daughter Vivian Jenna Wilson gives an interview to Teen Vogue titled, "I no longer have a father," and legally removes Musk from her name a second time. The internet chooses sides again, only this time the tide has turned. Summer 2025 is the death spiral in slow motion. The Q2 earnings call is the worst in Tesla history. Deliveries down 21%, automotive gross margins below 15% for the first time since 2019, energy the only growing segment. Elon blames temporary headwinds and promises Robotaxi fleets in Austin and San Francisco next quarter for sure. The stock drops 28% in the following week, the single largest market cap loss of any company ever in 7 days. Short sellers who survived 2020-2022 come out of retirement and make billions. X, already hemorrhaging advertisers, becomes functionally unusable as the For You tab drowns in crypto scams and porn bots after another round of content moderation layoffs. Revenue falls off a cliff. Valuation estimates for the platform slide below $10 billion, less than a quarter of what Elon paid. By September, the board is meeting without him. Sources leak that at least 3 directors have retained crisis PR firms. The Wall Street Journal publishes its ketamine investigation. Vanity Fair follows with a piece titled The Unraveling. Friends say he is sleeping 2 hours a night, cycling between manic coding sessions on XAI and doom-scrolling his own mentions. He flies to Boca Chica and stares at starships for hours without speaking. When he does tweet again, it is a single phrase at 4:12 a.m. They aren't ready for what's coming. The replies are brutal. December 2025. Giga Texas is running at 40% capacity. The Optimus demo units gather dust in a locked room. FSD is still level 2 in every jurisdiction that matters. The Shanghai factory is negotiating with local officials to be sold to a Chinese consortium at a loss that will wipe out an entire year of profit. Tesla closes the year with a market cap barely above $400 billion, less than a third of its peak 11 months earlier. The man who wanted to make humanity multiplanetary now presides over the fastest destruction of shareholder value in the history of capitalism. He spends Christmas alone in a small house near Starbase. No tree, no visitors, just the sound of waves and occasional sonic booms from test flights nobody is watching anymore. And yet, late at night, insiders say he is already sketching new plans on whiteboards that cover entire walls. A new low-cost vehicle built entirely in Texas, a political comeback in 2028, an XAI supercluster that will dwarf anything OpenAI ever dreamed of, a pivot so audacious it makes the Cybertruck look timid. Because if history has taught us one thing about Elon Musk, it is this: he does not do quiet endings. He does sequels, reboots, director's cuts, and occasionally complete reinventions of reality itself. Whether this crash landing in 2025 becomes his final chapter or merely the darkest moment before the greatest comeback ever filmed depends on one question only he can answer. Has the boy who cried Mars finally run out of tomorrows? Or is he, right now, in the silence after the explosion, already building the next rocket that will take the rest of us by surprise? The world is holding its breath again. And somewhere in the Texas dark, Elon Musk is smiling at the stars, because for him the story never really ends, it just changes orbit.